Hey Slacks, when's our Windranger coaching? Fuck off, he said. This video has been recommended a lot on YouTube and on Twitch. It is Slacks' love letter to Windranger.
Windranger is the 15th most picked hero in Dota currently, and I hate her. Now, if you know me, you know that I have a deep-seated contempt for this ginger she-devil for about, half a decade. But I never really have officially gotten into she-devil for about,
I wish Windranger pickers had to play 100 games with other Windranger pickers so they could experience what it's like to cause auto lose and misery to everyone they met. When you pick Windranger, an email should be sent to your parents showing all of the times you lost the game as Windranger so your family can be as disappointed and disgusted in you as the rest of the team. Dota Plus should also allow you to abandon a Windranger game with a loss but no penalty.
half a decade.
Sometimes I still can't believe people exist that can be any hero they want to be and they choose to be Windranger. She seems pretty good to me. I've seen some carries with Windranger.
But I never really have officially gotten into why. And it all started from watching professional Dota. You see, I noticed a pattern. It seemed like in every single game that mattered, every game where it was game 3 and everything is on the line, somebody would pick fucking Windranger, and then they would lose. Most of the time, it was the team I was rooting for, and it would make me very upset. Then I would notice the same thing in my pubs. Whatever
He's making it sound like a conspiracy.
team had Windranger would, more often than not, have a very difficult time or end up just straight up losing. I told many of my analysts and caster friends about this, and most of them would shrug me off, saying that the loss in the games wasn't really the Windranger's fault. The team itself would make mistakes, and just because the hero was in the game, that didn't mean that Windranger caused the loss. It's a classic case of correlation versus causation. Does the Windranger cause the loss? Or is it simply correlated to it? It's a coincidence based on a variety of other factors. Well, I decided that it's officially time to find out. By using hard data, psychological and sociological principles, and gameplay dynamics, I am about to prove once and for all that Windranger is a piece of garbage. I ban Windranger every single game. It's not because I'm afraid the enemy is gonna get Windranger. No! I ban her because I believe that this hero on my team is fundamentally one of the worst high gamble heroes that has ever existed in this game. And I want to see none of these bastards on my team ever again. So please enjoy this video of why I hate her.
I'm trying to think which hero is that for me. When it's on my team, we just lose. I used to think it's gonna be great when I have a Lion on my team. And I think it was true in Herald and Guardian. If I have a Lion, we're gonna win the lane, we're gonna own. But now I feel like a Lion on my team is a recipe for a loss. And it's a way back into the game to get a comeback if the enemy has a Lion. Sooner or later, the enemy Lion is always making the worst plays. Trying to blink in 1v3, trying to get that sweet, sweet finger kill, that stack. Out of position, useless. I think for me, it has to be Lion. For me, it's whatever hero I pick.
First, hard data. Despite being the 15th most popular hero in Dota 2, Windranger has a horrific 48% win rate. Now, this might not sound too bad, as many good heroes have bad win rates. A Wisp, Chen, Earth Spirit, heroes that we see dominate Pro Dota since TI1 have extremely bad win rates in pubs overall, and they end up performing incredibly in the right hands. But the difference is, when we look at these heroes' win rates separated by MMR and skill level, you can see stark differences between those who know what they are doing versus players who are new to the hero. Like, check out Lycan. But Windranger, no. You see, she has the same win rate across all levels of skill. It doesn't matter if it's your first time playing Windranger or if you're the best Windranger player in the world. The win rate of the hero is the same. A pathetic 48%. But it's not just pubs. As previously mentioned, I noticed this pattern watching professional Dota. So I decided to get stats for Windranger from the greatest display of skill tournament that we have, the International. And guess what? It's even worse. After adding up every single match that Windranger has played on from LAN, from TI1 to TI9, the numbers speak for themselves. 52 wins, 72 losses.
It's not that
41.9% win rate in every game at TI LAN.
There could be a correlation thing going on. It's the team that is losing recognizes that they are getting right-clicked too much and out-mobilized because the other team is better. So they go to a kind of generalist evasion hyperspeed hero in order to try and solve a problem that is not solvable because the enemy has better skill. Maybe that's what's going on, like a correlation kind of thing. And that's why like the losing team picks it more often, but it's not Windranger's fault.
In fact, I found that my original observation was spot on. She's almost exclusively picked up in elimination matches and even more in game 3 of those matches. Guess what? She is 0-3 in the grand finals of TI1, TI5, and TI9.
Oh my god.
This chick has been ruining Dota for 10 years. So how do we explain this phenomenon? How can one hero be the emergency pick for so many teams for the last 10 years, lose so consistently, yet still get consistently picked? Well, to answer this, rather than look at the skill of the hero, let's go into what I got one of my degrees in, psychology. Let's talk about those skills. Shackle shot, power shot, wind run, and auto attack, but faster. That's the ult, by the way. Now, Windranger is unique. To kill a hero straight up in the early to mid game, she needs to connect all of her skills one after another. At its simplest, a shackle shot into a power shot need to happen in conjunction to take a majority of an enemy's HP. But here is our first problematic factor: skill shots and the fading effect bias. You see, your brain is an amazing machine, and a healthy brain is hard-coded to do things necessary to make sure that it doesn't negatively impact itself and kind of go crazy. One of these factors...
The emotional intensity of negative memories. Negative memory? I dropped my ice cream. From time goes from sadness to indifference, okay? Fades faster than for positive memories. Positive memories, hey, I got a donut from a box. Very happy, still happy. So, in order to cope with difficult memories, we bury them. And that's why people that died, we always think, they weren't that bad. They were pretty good. Bime? Yeah, it's time. That's why we don't speak as much ill of the dead. Partially why, and because of respect.
Is the fading effect bias. The short and sweet is you're biased to think that you're a good person, that the things that you have
Well, I am.
done in your past are more often than not been pretty successful, that you are the main character in your story. You're the good guy. You remember the good times, the good things that you've done, and inherently forget the bad times and the things that you've done wrong. Perfect memory, that would be a curse. If you perfectly and vividly remembered every cringy thing that you've ever done in your life, you would never talk to anyone again. This is a very healthy thing. We want to forget these bad instances so that we're not overcome with failure and sadness for our lives. And this plays a gigantic factor in Windranger, especially with Dota 2 skill shots. Now, skill shots at their core are what every pro athlete wants to avoid. These are variables. Variables are inherently dangerous. Variables lose. Dependability breeds reliability. And if a pro athlete can do something good 1,000 times exactly the same, it's inherently more valuable than someone who can do the impossible once every 9,999 times.
Let's go fight. It doesn't matter. It's 400 gold. Let's go fight. Oh my god. I'm so good at Dota and bad at the same time. It's amazing.
That's Moneyball. That's classic Jimmy and EE 50-50. Doing something amazing makes for great Twitch clips, but it's the bowler that throws the ball exactly the same. It's the dart thrower that always hits the bullseye that make athletes. These are the highest value in competition. Skill shots, those promote the opposite of reliability.
What sport was that? Laddering?
Huge rewards for a pretty big risk and a cost. But the problem is, you're hardwired to only remember the successes. How we, as players, visualize a hero's skill usage can drastically impact how we view a player's overall performance. Let's take, for an example, a black hole or even a chronosphere. These are huge, very visual effects that make it very clear when those heroes have succeeded or they have failed. These heroes are what I like to call pub tilters, because when you watch someone whiff one of these giant skills, it's so open and apparent. Everybody on both teams can see it if there's been a mistake.
Yeah.
What a fucking chrono! That is the worst chrono I've ever seen in my fucking life.
In a mistake.
What a fucking chrono! That is the worst chrono I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh shit!
Welcome, lads.
God.
Lads.
That's why in your pub games, by the way, you should spend extra effort being supportive of people who play these big team fight heroes, because it's very easy to see when they fail. But guess what? Everyone else is probably failing just as much. It's just a lot less noticeable. Like Windranger. Shackle Shot is and has been one of the least reliable skills ever made in this game. You see, when you play Lion and you click on a hero, a hex comes out. You know how long they're going to be hexed. You know the hex is going to connect for a certain amount of time. You can plan. You can execute a follow-up. Shackle Shot? No, baby. That's the opposite. You throw a shackle, maybe it connects to the tree, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, you get a 0.75 second mini stun. But that's the thing. It's rather forgettable, isn't it? It's over quick. Yeah, the same with Power Shot. Compared to an Invoker Sunstrike, chasing a low HP support, a global sound effect, a large wind-up visually, the Power Shot, however, is easily forgettable. Was Windranger even aiming for them, or was she just farming creeps? Who knows? But the funny thing is, when Windranger succeeds, oh, it's very noticeable. A long stun on two heroes in a team fight, much easier to see than that 0.75 second mistake, and thus the team will recognize success over failure significantly more often. And the player of Windranger will always remember these big successful moments, but forget all of the mistakes due to the fading bias effect. When you ask a Windranger player how many skill shots they have hit in their game, most will tell you, they hardly ever miss. They're very good at the hero. Yeah. But if you go into the footage and you add up the number...
My wife played a game of HOTS yesterday. She had a patch on the team, Stitches, right? Kept missing hooks and running in alone and dying. Despite all his feeding, like 8 deaths in 8 minutes, they still ended up winning the game. And they gave him some grief for it. Then at the end of the game, he was like, I hit all my hooks. Which wasn't true, but that's the kind of delusion special hero pickers have about themselves.
Of what they're very good at the hero. But if you go into the footage and you add up the number of what some of the best Windranger players miss versus what they hit, it's astronomically different. They fuck up all game. But in the one team fight that they do hit their skill shots, gank an essential hero, it's so noticeable that the player and the team don't easily...
Who is this Karakaya guy that he keeps following? he's like a compilation of fails for him.
Forget it, which creates our problem, dependency and reliability. Would you like to know how I got to Divine Ranked? It was by playing healers. Not because of economy or time saved healing my carries so they don't need to buy salves or go back to the base and heal. No, it's about faking out the enemy, causing an overextension, forcing the enemies into situations they normally wouldn't go into because they believe that they are going to get a kill. Then healing the target so that they are overcommitted and then can be killed in return. That's why old Omni Knight was so amazing. You could have an entire team that will get a giant ult off, go in for a kill, but Omni Knight could Ags Refresher ult and keep his idiots alive long enough to survive the engagement and take advantage of that team's overcommitment. That is how a healing support wins team fights. Because the enemy believes something will happen, they overcommit, it doesn't happen, and then they die. You see, Windranger must overcommit every single time in order to get a kill. You don't need an enemy support to protect your carry and trick her. She could just do it all by herself because of skill shots. You got a fed-ass Windranger at 30 minutes and she goes in for a gank. But what does she do? She blinks in, she shackle shots, maybe power shots, and then she ults. But that's the problem. She has to fully commit there. What if that shackle shot doesn't land? What if that power shot misses? What if when she ults the enemy ghost scepters, God forbid if they blade mail, every one of those actions are unpredictable and unreliable. If a lion blinks in and he hexes, you know the hex will
Just get BKB.
happen. You know the full duration. If Mirana throws an arrow, maybe she hits it, maybe she doesn't. If she hits it, she can go in. But do you see the commitment that Mirana needs to start that kill? The positioning from a max arrow distance to a shackle shot distance. Windranger needs to fully commit to get the best angle, to get close up, and it's in a very dangerous position to follow up. Anything could happen here.
I think good Windranger players, they will get a much better feeling whether it's going to shackle on the tree. I don't know the exact angle, but just don't be bad.
She has to fully
I feel like I should start practicing Windranger to prove the opposite.
commit without knowing if anything is going to work. Slark, Mirana, Quap, AM, these are also heroes that have to commit to a kill, but they all have built-in fantastic escape mechanisms. Windranger has fucking Windrun, which she probably used just to get into position close enough to shackle anyway. A skill that you can still use magical damage on. Stuns go through it. A skill so shit that at level 25, she gets what Weaver has at level fucking 1.
Windranger's actually a lot like Tracer, isn't she? From Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. You have a high mobility, some survivability tools, and then you get in close, and you're like, tick, 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 tick. But the problem is when you're initially so out of position, so far away, that you use your gap closer as a gap closer instead of an escape. Maybe you don't have to always use E to get closer if you're just in a better spot already.
Ranger is the only hero I can think of that slowly kills themselves if someone has a blade mail by using her fucking ultimate. Even her ult is a full committal, begging for the enemy to take advantage of that overcommitment. Her hit is terrible, and you don't notice. Because you only see the two-man shackles. You only remember the solo kill at 10 minutes, and you and the rest of the world say to yourselves, oh, it wasn't her fault. I saw her kill somebody. The 2-14 Windranger, she did her best, but it was her fault because she's unreliable. When Vengeful Spirit throws...
Wait, did he just shake the camera with a Photoshop effect when he slammed the table?
But it was her fault. Her kill somebody. The 2-14 Windranger, she did her best, but it was her fault because she's unreliable. When Vengeful Spirit throws a stun, she fucking stuns. You know you can move in. You can plan around it. Reliability builds dependability. When Windranger throws a shackle or a power shot, you think you can go in. You commit.
Excalibur. Madra Uchiha. A nice lotus.
Ranger throws a shackle or a power shot, you think you can go in, you commit, but maybe they miss, and maybe you all die. Dependability, reliability, and unreliability, more often than not, leads to death. This explains, in part, why we see the pattern of Windranger being picked in high-pressure TI games. Because players and their teammates are so much more likely to remember the successes of a high-variance hero like Windranger rather than their faults. And you can have the best team in the world pick this hero, but she can have catastrophic overextensions not only for herself, but for her entire team. Yes, Windranger can win, and yes, when she pulls off all of her skill shots and she does amazing, it is a monumental thing to behold. But every time you play and pick this hero, you decide that it's variance time. We're at the casino. Let's throw the dice. She is a comfort pick. Tier 1 teams say, guys, we're too stressed out. We need to relax. Let's pick a hero that we have won with before. A hero that we know can do amazing things. Let's pick Windranger in our elimination game. And guess what? You fucking lose. Because rather than playing a hero that is reliable, dependable, you're hoping on a dream. This isn't a Disney movie. Dreams don't come true. Statistics come true. Numbers come true. Lion insta-head.
I have never played tournaments with statistics in mind. Statistics are for pundits, casters, and fans, not for players. Man, the moment you start relying on stats as a pro player, you've lost your way for sure. You make the stats.
Hexing a hero, that comes true. Shackle shot? Who knows? Now, speaking of fun, let's discuss that. Windranger's biggest issue is that she is inherently a freaking blast to play. The endorphins one gets when one gets a two-man shackle, the rush of barely making that power shot, getting that kill from the fleeting support, the feeling of 1v1ing a carry late game with just your ult and imagination. I mean, she is an absolute blast to
It's so weird when the map is different and the outpost is missing.
play, which sucks.
I mean,
for
I grant.
every other player on your team. Now, I'm a techies player, and most people think this is how techies players think. They want to have fun and let all the 9 other people in the game suffer. Wrong! Techies players want to win at any cost. It doesn't matter if the game is 3 hours long and your teammates have no idea how to play their goddamn heroes. You are not going to take a techies high ground without a fight. Techies players don't want to have fun. They just refuse to lose. Windrangers, oh, they couldn't care less. It's all about the rush of endorphins, pulling off their skill shots.
That actually sounds very, very familiar. The people that pick, again, Pudge, it's all about how many people they hook, whether they get first blood. It's not about actually winning in the end. You'll never see a Pudge build a Wraith Pact or something like that. Yeah, or to play logically with team 5-on-5. No, they're gonna hook if they see a chance.
Maybe they win, maybe they lose. It doesn't matter. I'm having fun. And it's not her fault, right? Wrong! She's a fucking normie. She's a baseline hero for baseline players. You know what I always say to people in my pubs? If you're playing with strangers, have fun, but try to win. We're Dota players. We sought out the hardest, most complicated game in existence, and we said, that's what I want to get good at. This game can't beat us because I'm a goddamn winner. If you want to go have fun, go play League of Legends. That's a fun fucking game. You're gonna have a lot of fun there. But if you want to be a winner, if you want to be the best, you play Dota. And guess what? Windranger has a skill shot, an escape, and a single target ult. You know who else has that kit? 99% of fucking League heroes. If you're a Windranger player right now, listening to this video, and you haven't tried out League of Legends, do yourself a favor and go play it. The entire game is a mixed bag of fucking Windrangers. So go.
Actually, I've seen this before that someone said that. I mean, I haven't played League yet, but people were like, oh yeah, League has like 90 drows and Windrangers. They're all humanoid, right? Because they're not based on Blizzard's more diverse Lotter-esque universe. It's all men and women with different looks, and they all have skill shots.
Go have the time of your life and get the fuck out of my lanes. Laning. Positioning. Let me ask you a little question. Have you ever lost a game, sat there on the post game?
There's a lot more. All anime girls with big what?
Screen, looking at the numbers, and you said to yourself, oh man, I've laid life game, League of Legends, mixed bag of fucking Windrangers. So go have the time of your life and get the fuck out of my lanes. Laning. Positioning. Let me ask you a little question. Have you ever lost a game, sat there on the post-game screen, looking at the numbers, and you said to yourself, oh man, I really wish we had a Windranger in that game? No, you haven't. Nobody's ever said that. You haven't heard anyone else say that, unless they were a Windranger player so hopped up on false positives and chasing endorphins like a crackhead in the wintertime, they don't even know what Dota is anymore. You see, the reason you have never said that is because Windranger inherently sucks at everything. Well, okay, let's put it this way. Windranger is a jack of all trades. She could be a support, an offlaner, a mid, and a carry. But here's the thing. She's shit at all of them. A jack of all trades and a master of none. With 117 heroes in this game, many which are masters at one specific thing, why in God's name do you want to play a hero that is exceptional at nothing? What lane does Windranger go into? Is she a support? Well, yeah, she has a stun and burst damage, but then again, those might not hit. They're unreliable. Oh, and maybe the stun only hits one person, maximum two. Shaman, that's a hero that has burst damage and a stun. In fact, he has two stuns. Two stuns that are casted instantly, and they are guaranteed to hit. Witch Doctor can stun a whole team. Lion or Nyx can ravage if they time their shit right. Windranger is a horrible support. The only thing she's good at is stealing farm with power shots in the laning phase. She can't tank the front lines like an ogre. She can't mass disable like an actual support. She can't even quickly solo kill someone.
I think she's better than he's making it out.
I once heard a Windranger player tell me, please let me farm so I can get items and transition into a support. Bitch, I'm already the support. What the fuck are you talking about? Horrible support. Oh, okay, maybe she's an offlaner. No, her escape is dog shit. If the enemy support has stuns, she's fucking dead. She has a horrible starting HP and armor, by the way, and that
she's of course going to. Of course, she's gonna lose a 2v3. Anyone will.
Not get better, no matter how long the game is.
Under level 2v3.
You kill a Windranger the same way at 7 seconds as you do at 70 minutes. It's just magical burst damage. She's dead. No. She's not like Weaver.
Yeah, her minimum stun is 0.75 seconds, but her maximum is like 8 seconds or something, right? Because she gets 2 people on like a massive stun. It's really good when you hit it.
Who, when he off lanes...
Yeah, but it's on 2 people, right? 3.8 on 2, so that's 7.6.
He gets a max movement speed.
Of course, maximum Lion stun is more, but who's gonna line up 5 people for Lion?
Sakuchi and goes invisible. She doesn't do shit. Carry? Let's go over what items...
I think Windranger mid can be quite good. I've seen some good Windranger mid. When she levels up faster than others, she can use that mobility and chase power to come gank the side lanes, which are often hugging woods anyway.
Windranger needs to be a successful carry. Okay, first, she needs mobility. Windrun, that needs to get you out of bad situations, not into them. So she needs a blink, a shadow blade, about 2,000 gold. But of course, she has no damage. She's squishy. She can't sustain in fights, so she needs to do burst damage as fast as possible and get the hell out of there. So maybe a Desolator, a Monkey King Bar, maybe even a Milner. Let's not forget her ult. That doesn't do anything without an Ags, so you need that. She can be completely bursted down at all states of the game from
I think Desolator's good for her.
Magical damage, so you're gonna need a BKB or maybe even a Lincoln's, and there you have it. Now you're ready to fight. Of course, with all this free farm, if her skill shots don't connect or if she gets initiated first, she's dead. Or, you could pick Shadow Fiend and do all of this inherently. If you give all the items and gold a Windranger needs to just be fucking passively competent in your game to any other hard carry in this game, they will destroy 10 minutes earlier than she could. You want to know why? Because an item exists in the game that just straight up counters her. Monkey King Bar. If the enemy carry, right-clicker, buys an MKB...
What the hell? Grants each attack a 35% chance to mini-stun and deal 160 damage. Passive mini-bash. 66 damage? This is old.
One of her skills just doesn't exist. And then she needs to buy other means of survival instead of damage. And then
I mean, it's still good against her. 80% chance to hit.
She truly does no damage, and she does nothing. There is not a single matchup I would prefer a Windranger over a Slark. Because if Slark has 8,000 gold, he is invincible. And if they catch him, he will live. Windranger is the worst carry in this game because her kit makes her overcommit inherently just from her skills, yet she needs 3 times as much farm as any other carry just to be goddamn relevant.
This is Gold Bounty Rune. I was watching Crit stream earlier today, and he had the Observer Ward overlay, and there was a Golden Bounty Rune here, and then there was one here. So weird. Like, he didn't update his minimap overlay.
And then, after all of that, if your Windranger free farms, if she's 10-0, if she's completely dominated, it's still bad late game. It takes one mistake to kill her with her horrible late game HP and armor. She is every support's nightmare. So what is she? She's an undependable support. She's a squishy offlaner. She's a horrendous late game carry. So she must be mid. Mid is the only acceptable position for this hero.
Yes.
But why would you want a mid that needs so many items and specific circumstances to succeed? Invoker mid with farm, he can do anything. That's the point of putting him mid. Shadow Fiend is a mid that goes late game carry. Storm Spirit can zip in and out of the map from 10 to 100 minutes. He's still relevant. Windranger peaks at 30 minutes. When there is a Windranger in your game,
Yeah, but I think if that's true, right, and she peaks at 30 minutes, then you just need other heroes that also peak at that time, and then you go and win. I don't know, Beastmaster can probably peak earlier than that, but they're looking to close out the game by that time.
you better
Naga.
pray that the laning
Just
phase
go
goes
in.
perfectly.
Yeah.
She hits every single skill shot, and you're done before 40 minutes, or you are going to watch your hard carry get soloed by a lion. But then again,
Why is an Archon player theory crafting? Cringe. Says Twitch bankrupt soon. You're a sunshine, aren't you?
that's the problem. Because we have seen incredible Windrangers that have gone mid and just tore up the map. We have seen unstoppable Ginger gods in the past. But mid is very much like a skill shot. It can go really, really good, or it can go really, really bad. And on average, a team that focuses on making everything as average as possible for success will win 10 times more than a team that is built around one hero that needs every single thing to go right. So yeah, mid is the perfect and only barely viable lane for this hero. But what happens if she loses? Well, game over. You see, this is why mid heroes have inherent built-in comeback systems. Shadow Fiend has cheap mana raises so he can farm the jungle. Storm Spirit can do that too. Tinker can farm anywhere. Any real mid hero has a skill that allows them to get back into the game if things don't work out very well. Windranger has...
If that's true, just taking that statement to be true for the moment, working under that presumption, that would make Klinks bad too at mid. Well, you can farm jungle, but an underleveled, underdamaged Klinks doesn't do that much. You can go farm jungle all the time, farm stacks. Yeah, I guess you could farm stacks. One comeback mechanic could be that your ally stacks the ancients and stuff. I find Klinks mid, based on my data so far, better than Klinks 1. The overleveledness really helps to make him a constant one-shot threat. Because Klinks, the thing that he's best at is one-shotting people. And therefore you want that momentum from the early good lane. Mid generally will give you a better lane. You get bottle, helps you a lot with mana fixing. And I played him twice now mid, and he felt a lot stronger than when I played him on position 1. With position 1, I'm always losing early game, and then mid game we either recover or we don't. Usually we do, but when we don't, it's over.
power shot. She can't come back into the game if she gets destroyed.
Why was Klinks not picked or banned at TI? Checkmate. They didn't know. We know something that they don't know. Archmage Cal. Only me and other grubsters know that Klinks is good.
She needs to transition to support because there's no hope for her. Even if she has every item she ever dreams of and she gets caught out, she's dead and she ain't coming back. It's over. So there you have it. The reason why you people in my pubs pick this stupid hero, and why even the best pro players in the world are still blinded by her. Because she's comfortable. She can do anything. You see her successes, but you forget her mistakes. You have seen this hero destroy, you have seen a mid-Windranger dominate a game, but you forget. And numbers don't. 41% win rate at the International. She's a honeypotter. She will tell you everything.
The question is there anyone with a lower win rate? I will say he's done some research, but has he done #the research? Has he compared it to other heroes' win rates? Or does he have an inscrutable bias against Windranger because of his own biases?
Everything that you want to hear. She will give you a glimpses of your dreams.
Everybody else has a lower wind rate. Nice one, yep, Cobb.
And during those highs, oh, she'll make you feel like the king of the world. But like in any abusive relationship, you forget the lows, the misses of the skill shots, the failures.
Wait, what? Did he say in every abusive relationship you forget the lows?
You forget the lows, king of the world. But like in any abusive relationship, you forget the lows.
No, I remember those.
The misses of the skill shots, the failures after they're ganked. Windranger.
It's true though? No, it's not. It's only when you're still trapped inside the cycle. Once you break out of it, you damn well remember and you remind yourself every day. You're grateful you're out of it.
Fundamentally, by the nature of her skills, her...
Yeah, when you're still in the cycle of abuse, you forget the lows because they love bomb you afterwards and you're still under their control. But when you break free, you no longer feel that. Yeah, that's what he means. You're still playing Windranger. Okay, yeah. If you're still playing Windranger, yeah. So you're not in an abusive relationship anymore? Correct, I'm not anymore.
Items, and the way she is played is the worst fucking hero in this game. Because she makes you think she's not...
So if you don't play Windranger anymore, then you'll definitely remember the lows. Wait, maybe... Could this be Slax's origin story? Do you think he used to be secretly the biggest Windranger picker ever before he became famous? And finally it became too much, he had a midlife crisis. And now he made this video? I think so. Before he was a Techies main. I think we're getting to the lore of Slax's life. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too personal with him. I think he was a dirty Windranger picker.
Hero in this game. Because she makes you think she's not bad. But numbers don't lie. So stop. Stop praying that everything goes right in your laning phase. Stop hoping that the enemy team doesn't buy a Monkey King Bar or a BKB. Stop and play a real hero. A dependable hero. A hero that is very good at something. Even if they are just really, really good at one thing. Just play that. Don't do this to your teammates.
But really, he was spamming Omni Knight and Techies when he was low MMR, like 2-3k. Okay, two things. First of all, it could have been before that, when he was 1k MMR. Secondly, 3k is not low.
Don't do this to yourself. Your life will be so much better when you learn a hero that you can count on. Always. Free yourself. Stop picking Windranger in my pubs. Thank you. Oh, and a bonus. The voice acting on this hero is so goddamn annoying.
Bury me beneath a tree.
The voice actor nails it for Puck. I mean, what a great personality.
Behold!
But these lines, Jesus, I hate them. They just screech, and there's no energy. Don't get me started on the lore. You want to know what that is? The wind blew over her family's house, and it killed her parents, and the wind feels bad for her. Well, what the fuck is that? She doesn't even control the wind. It just feels bad for her, and it shows up. What kind of worthless ass person is that? The only reason she's a hero is because the elements feel such pity about how shit she is. Drow Ranger, she can control ice. They don't even explain why. And she's super hot. Windranger just changed her species. She just got elf ears after 3 years of her existence.
Well, if Windranger is based on Illyria from Warcraft and Drow is based on Sylvanas from Warcraft, which they are, then they were actually sisters. So it's Drow that changed their species from living to dead by losing and dying.
Just so she can pretend that she's cool, but she's worthless. All the heroes have such great personalities. Look at Crystal Maiden, how amazingly diverse her personality is from the comics. Did you read Windranger's comics? Her personality is as flat as her fucking chest, and her character is as twisted.
It's only flat because she's wearing a
Her personality is as
sports bra here.
flat as her fucking chest.
Because she runs so fast.
And her character is as twisted as her scoliosis ass spine. I hate everything about this hero. The day she lost the Arcana vote was the happiest day of my life. Stop with the Windrangers. Stop. This psychotic rant was brought to you by...
All right, now I understand his deep-seated hatred for the hero. I see. Shall we start practicing her? Hey Slacks, when's our Windranger coaching? Of course I'm gonna reverse Uno on him and teach him. Fuck off, he said. I will learn her to teach you. Give me some time. Go learn to... Go learn to fuck off, you Windranger scum. Disgusting. Alright, I think we just confirmed his origin story. You used to play her at 1K and you got hurt. You need therapy. It's obvious you're projecting past trauma. He says check my Dota buff. Check my buff. There we go, Dorfro.